should be good for business, right, J.D.?
Asteroids, Friday at 6:30.
I asked you what you are doing here, and you'd better come up with an answer fast before I call the police. Think you know what'll happen to your license if I do that?
Since when you decide you needed a gun to protect yourself?
I don't want you to ask me any questions until you have answered some of mine. But then I think I can probably piece it all together on my own. Sure, I ran into you a few minutes ago in the lobby of the Springfield Towers with the Chamberlains. And Henry overheard me say I was going to spend the next 2 hours there going over the plans for the banquet. So he told you, and you decided this was the perfect time for you to break in here and snoop around.
Maybe you should have been the private detective, huh?
I have a good mind to call the police right now.
No, I don't think you better do that, Diane. Unless you're prepared to open that briefcase and show them the tapes that you stole out of my apartment.
You're crazy.
Oh, I know you well enough to know you would never destroy those tapes you sent me to Puerto Rico to get from Mike Bauer. So I know they got the proof on him to send your beloved Alan to prison. Yeah. And I also know that you convinced Alan that you couldn't wait for those tapes to get back so that you could destroy them. You better think about this, lady, because...
I don't need any advice from you. I want you out of here. And if you ever come near me or this apartment again, I will see to it that your license is revoked and that you are sent to jail.
Oh, I don't think you better do that either, lady. Because if you do, then I'll tell the police that you sent me to Puerto Rico to get those tapes from Mike, and that Alan sent me to Zurich to track down that ex-pilot of his.
Those are the emptiest threats I have ever heard in my life. There's nothing on paper to link Alan or me to you. It would be your word against ours. And I happen to know the reputation that you have with the local police. That's why I hired you in the first place, Joe. Oh, the authorities would just love to get one more piece of evidence on you so that they could take your license away, put you away in jail for a few months for safekeeping. Now get up! You put that briefcase back in the closet. Lock the closet door and leave the key in the lock and then go. Do as you're told and do it fast!
Mike, I can't believe that Diane would hire Joe Bradley to break into my room at the club and steal that... Diane would hire Joe Bradley to break into my room at the club and steal that letter from Rita along with her address and phone number.
Why do you find that so difficult to believe?
Because Diane didn't know anything about Rita.
What makes you so sure?
Because if she had, she would have thrown it up in my face. She was always taking messages from Rita on the telephone here.
I think Diane would have a way of knowing almost anything she wants to find out. And the fact that she's hired a guy like Joe Bradley shows she doesn't mind keeping company with rather dubious types. I think it's possible that maybe she suspected that there was another woman and hired Joe Bradley to go to your room and find out who it was.
The idea that Diane would do something like that is absolutely mind-boggling. You know, it suddenly occurred to me that now Joe Bradley, of all the people in the world, knows about me and Rita, too. I find that a very disturbing thought.
I told you that I don't think it's right for you to trust Diane so completely.
You may be right. You know, Hope felt very strongly last night that Diane was purposely wearing that necklace to see how Hope would react to it. And she said that when she asked her questions about it, her answers were filled with innuendo. If I find out that Diane actually hired Joe Bradley to break into my room at the club and that she planted doubts in Hope's mind about me and our relationship, I'll kill her. Just hope that she has proof that I'm wrong. Yes, Laurie. Can you give me some idea of what Diane's schedule is for the rest of the day?
I told you to leave the key in the lock. That's better. Now get out. Oh, Miss Hardwick, listen, there's nothing to be alarmed about, really. Nothing to be upset about. This is Mr. Bradley. He is a private detective. He was just showing me how to protect myself in case someone ever breaks in here, you know.
Of course. I've seen Mr. Bradley several times leaving your apartment. I was just concerned when I saw the door standing open. I remembered the other night how frightened I was when I saw that man crouched in front of your door.
I know. You see, that's when I went out and bought and licensed this gun. Did it the very next day. But I don't really know how to use a gun, so that's why I asked Joe to give me a few pointers.
Well, I hope you don't think I'm just a nosy neighbor. I was worried as all.
No. I understand perfectly. Really, I appreciate your concern.
I'm just glad to see that Diane has such caring neighbors.
Well, we single girls can't be too careful these days.
Right.
It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, too. Well, I'd like to see you force me out of here now, after that lovely explanation you gave your neighbor lady.
You just stay away from me.
I know you've got guts, Diane, but I don't think you've got what it takes to pull that trigger. I think I'm going to put you to the final test. And if I win, I get to see what's in that briefcase. Because I know damn well it's those tapes with Alan and Dr. Moreno's voices on it.
You had better just stay where you are. Because if you lose, it is all over. I'll simply tell Miss Hardwick there was a terrible accident while you were giving me a few pointers. I mean it! Stay away from me! If you take one more step, I'll pull the trigger. I mean it!
If you knew anything about private detective work, you'd know I'd never leave a gun loaded in that drawer and search this apartment. That's much better, huh? How do you think? It's funny how the table turns, huh? Don't you think?
According to Lori, Diane checked in a little while ago and said that she would be at the banquet manager's office at the Springfield Towers discussing final arrangements for the banquet tonight, and it would take her at least a couple of hours. So I'll try calling her at her apartment later. If she's there, I'll go over and face her with this.
Alan, don't you think you were overreacting a little bit and threatening to kill Diane?
Perhaps I was, but it was simply said in the heat of anger. I only know this. If she's been deceiving me in those areas, then it's very possible that she's been deceiving me here, too, because I've given her a great deal of power while I was away.
I think you ought to keep your eye on those areas, too.
Tell me, you talked to Alan in the last couple hours?
It's none of your business.
Well, I would just love to be around when Alan finds out all about you.
I hate you. I hate everything about you. Just being in the same room with you makes me sick.
Sure, every man in the world has that effect on you except one. And that one man doesn't think of you as a woman even for a minute. So, of course, that's the one man you want the most.
You are as wrong about that as you are about everything else.
No. I know better. And he's the one man that you aren't ever going to get, Diane.
We'll see about that.
No. I can guarantee it. For one thing, Alan's in love with his wife. And for another thing, he was unfaithful to her once. Yeah, almost destroyed his marriage. So I don't think he's going to stray. Oh, you're one of the few people who was close to Alan who never really heard about that other woman in his life, aren't you? And I think that is just so funny because you go to such superhuman lengths to find out every move he makes.
You're making it up. There was no one else.
I can see it's killing you. It is just killing you to think that he would turn to another woman and have it not be you. But he did. And now, I'm going to rub a little salt in those wounds, and I'm going to tell you who it was, because I know that is just going to cut you to pieces. The woman was Rita Bauer. Oh, boy, I drew blood there, didn't I? Huh? I feel like now that I have gotten even with you in a way that I never dreamed possible. And I can see that it is just cutting you up, Diane, and I think that that is absolutely beautiful. Well, I'm just going to leave this right there. Because now that you know about Rita Bauer, you just might shoot yourself. Oh, yeah. It all happened in Jamaica. And from what I understand, it was really hot.
Get out of here before I kill you!
Sure. Enjoy.
Wait a minute. Joe's fingerprints are on this gun. If I ever need any evidence against him with the police, I can...
There you are. Paid in full.
Thank you. And here's the registration.
Very good. I'll put Carrie's name on it, take care of the rest of it at Motor Vehicles. I'd like to get it all done before I pick her up at the airport.
Have you gone by the office today?
No, I haven't. Matter of fact, I called Lori to find out that you were here.
Ross, I'd really like to sign the codicil to my will today. I hope you make a point of getting it from your secretary.
Yes, I'll check into it. Where can I reach you later on?
Well, I want to see Diane at her apartment about something important. Then I'm going to go to the club and change for the banquet. Then I'll come back here to pick up Hope.
Well, perhaps then we can sign the will tomorrow.
I'd really like to sign it today. You know, Ross, I'm beginning to think that you don't want me to sign it, even though as Amanda's legal and financial advisor, you have to know how much it would increase her power in the company one day.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not as enthusiastic about those kind of things since I've met Carrie.
Yeah, I know the feeling all too well, but we still have to find ways to discharge our responsibility.
Yes, I guess there is no avoiding them. Listen, Alan, I'll get out of your way.
Ross, before you go, I'd like to ask you something.
Yes.
And I'd like you to keep it within the confines of this room. I know you've been working very closely with Diane for months now, and I'd like your opinion on whether or not you think she's trustworthy as far as business ethics go. You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
I wouldn't trust Diane or her ethics around the nearest corner.
Why?
I think I've said enough. Bye, Alan. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello there. There's my son and heir. I'm happy to see that you're up from your nap already. Yes, you come and see me. Come and see me. Wonderful. Well, I am not really looking forward to this meeting with Diane. She doesn't seem to be home yet, so I'd like to spend a little while longer with my wife and son. I'm telling you, Moreno, we've got to get Roger Thorpe out of that clinic and off the island before the authorities...
I can have everything for myself now, if I'm just very clever. told her myself. I'm imagining things. Hello. Hello.
Flight 416 for Chicago, departing at
Ross,
10.
don't you think it would be a little easier to put the stuff in the car and maybe have a nice quiet drink at home?
Hey, what are you talking about? I love airport cocktail lounges.
You are making that up.
No, I'm not. It's the truth. I've loved them ever since we flew to Paris.
Ross, we were in a private jet. We never set foot in a public cocktail lounge.
Oh, yeah. May I take your order?
Hello.
Carrie?
Just some orange juice, please.
My, that sounds good to me, too. Yes, You know, the part I liked best was when we were flying back from Paris, and at 40,000 feet, I woke up, and there you were in my arms.
Funny, I thought about that on my short flight to Chicago. And then again, on the flight back. You know what? It's very lonely up there without you. I do not like flying alone.
Oh, I don't like anything anymore. Unless, of course, I can share it with you.
You know what I remember?
What?
I remember the first time you tried to kiss me and I told you everything was happening too fast.
Ah, yes, I remember that, too.
Well, I've been doing some very serious thinking on that score. And I've come to a conclusion that when something very, very special happens between two people, time and reason have to be put aside. I am yours, Ross Marler. I am completely committed to the love between us. Right or wrong?
Wrong? How could it be wrong when it makes us better, stronger people?
Couldn't. It does. Now I want you to tell me how you are. I was so worried about you when I left for Chicago. There was so much tension in you, I didn't know what to do to help.
Oh, help. You always help. You've helped from the very first day I met you. Even when you were away, just the thought of you and the fact that you love me helped me through what could have been one of the darkest periods of my life.
I'm sorry it's a dark period in your life. If it's any consolation, I loved meeting Laney and Carter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew you would.
But you know, Laney was very upset about Jackie. We called Jackie from her apartment when I was there, and she was all upset about Philip having run away from school or something.
Yes, I've never been more worried about Jackie since I've known her. Usually she's a very positive, strong woman like you. But...
But what?
Listen, I just want to look at you and revel in the fact that you're back. Because now that you are, I know exactly what I have to do. You ever been kissed in an airport cocktail lounge?
Never.
Brace yourself. It's another first for the both of us.
Hi, Justin.
Oh, hello, Eve. Look, my flight doesn't leave until 7 o'clock tonight for Chicago. It is not too late for me to call Emmett and cancel this whole trip.
I won't hear of it, darling. I have Eve here. I'll be just fine until you get back.
Did you hear from Ross?
Well, he stopped by earlier and said he was picking Carrie up, but that he would try to drop back by before you left so you two could talk things out. Oh, Excuse me, I have to go warm up a bottle for Samantha's nurse. I'm bringing it up for her. Would you like some tea or something while I'm in the kitchen?
Evie, I'd love a cup of tea. Thank you.
Okay.
Did Ross say anything about the will?
Only that with the big service awards dinner tonight that he thought sure that he could stall Alan again.
There was only some way to stall Diane until I got back from Chicago, and then we could figure out a way to stop her from carrying out her threat.
I can't go on pinning my hopes on our finding some way to stop Diane. There just isn't any. There's no way of reasoning with someone that inhuman. No way to stop her either. Not when the only thing she cares about in this world are Alan and more power in that damned company.
Well, I'm not giving up. How's Philip?
Threatened and moody. And he wants to go back to Lincoln Prep on the bus tonight.
What?
I've thought about this, and I think it might just be the best thing for all of us.
Why?
Philip promised he'd never run away again. And we can't seem to reach him here. Perhaps it would be best for Philip to be busy in school with boys his own age. So I thought we'd drive him to the bus station on the way to the airport tonight.
Listen to me. You do not have to drive me to the airport. They're predicting terrible weather tonight.
No, I want to. I need to get out of this house. Clear my head a little. So, I'll drive the two men in my life to the bus station, to the airport, say goodbye to them, and then come back here and be with Eve and my new baby daughter. This is crazy. Excuse me, but people don't go around giving each other cars when they've only known each other 2 months, Ross.
Wait a minute. You said in the cocktail lounge time and reason has nothing to do with it.
Well, yes, but I just
All
mean
I am asking for is a simple thank you.
a simple thank you does not suffice when someone gives you a whole car.
Oh, well, then I will accept any show of affection that you think is suitable for this particular occasion.
Okay, fine.
I should have given you 2 cars. Get it.
I absolutely adore it.
Get it. When I heard Hope was going to sell it, I immediately thought of you. After all, I didn't have a chance to do anything extravagant or romantic when you went away, so I thought this would be perfect, if I do say so myself, to have it waiting for you when you got back. Yes, in the glove compartment there is your registration, some other official documents which may need your signature to make it yours. Just a second here, I have the keys. There you are.
I'll take them. I love it. I absolutely love it. You want to know what I want to do tonight? Instead of going to a restaurant,
Yes.
I want to make you the most extravagantly romantic meal I've ever cooked for anyone in my entire life.
Oh, okay, I accept.
Oh, okay, I'll see you at 8.
Could we make it 9?
If we have to, but why?
I have some terribly important things to do tonight. And being with you has made me realize that nothing is going to threaten our love for each other. You've helped me to make up my mind about something. And it has to be done.
Don't you think it's about time that you told me what was really going on in your life these days and why you are keeping such a secret from me?
Vanessa, please, I have enough on my mind without you bringing all that up again.
Daddy, I happen to know that you were in Mike Bauer's office again this morning. Joe told me himself in front of you that he saw you there. And I also happen to know that whatever legal problem Mike is helping you with, it's something Diane is using to intimidate you.
Oh, for the love of heaven, will you stop?
Daddy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'd want so desperately to help you.
Nobody can help me, though.
Daddy, everything's going to be fine if Alan fires Diane.
Oh, I thought that when Joe first told us, but that's not true. I would give everything I own to see that woman dead.
Moreno, you know I would go to prison if the authorities found out about my connection with...
Who is it?
It's Alan.
Just a minute, Alan.
I've been calling here all afternoon. Either the line was busy, or there was no answer at all.
Well, I shouldn't have to remind you that I have been handling all the details for the banquet on my own.
I'm not here to discuss the banquet.
Oh? What then?
I'm here to discuss two things. I'd like honest answers.
I have always been honest with you.
Have you? First, Hope feels that you deliberately wore that necklace last night to upset her. She said that you seemed to take pleasure in her reaction to it, and that your answers were full of innuendo.
I don't want to discuss Hope's jealousy, if you don't mind. I'm so bored with that subject I could scream.
How dare you talk about my wife like that? Who do you think you are?
I know now why Hope was so suspicious of you. I can't believe that you would ever have turned to someone like Rita Bauer when I was here offering you everything.
You just answered my second question. I know now that what Mike Bauer told me before was true.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You just confirmed my worst suspicions with that remark about Rita. How could I have been such a fool to be deceived by your protestations of trust and loyalty?
Stop!
All the
I can't listen to any more. I've been hurt enough today.
You're going to hear a few more things before I leave, and then we're never going to see each other again. You're fired, Diane. Out of my company forever. If you ever so much as show your face at Spaulding Enterprise...
I am not some errand boy in the mailroom that you can hire and fire at will, you know. I own stock in this company. And by midnight tonight, I am going to own a hell of a lot more, so you'd better watch it.
Don't you threaten me! I'm going to find Ross before that banquet tonight and set into motion all of the legal machinery to buy you out. To think I was going to give you a special award tonight. I've been a blind fool, but I'm going to rectify that within the next 24 hours and then never see you again. I hope that you'll at least have the good taste not to appear at the banquet tonight.
You are moving a little too fast, Alan. There's no way in the world you're going to get rid of me. I'm going to take the whole damn company away from you. You won't have anything left to leave to your precious...
You're insane!
Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, no, I have never seen things quite so clearly. I have the tapes with you and Moreno. And I will see to it that the authorities have them in the morning.
You're bluffing. I know you are.
Well, you'll find out, won't you?
You'll turn over those tapes.
It's too late for threats! Besides, tapes aren't here anyway. I've hidden them away in a very safe place. And there are instructions in my safety deposit box explaining where they are and stating that they are to be delivered to Mike Bauer immediately if anything should happen to me. Oh, look at the great Alan Spaulding standing there trembling. I loved you more than anyone should ever love anyone. And I had to hear from someone I hate that you turned to Rita. I'm going to get even with you for all the pain and humiliation you caused me.
You've been very quiet since we put Philip back on that bus to Lincoln.
It's just that Philip looked so terribly young to me suddenly when he was walking up the steps into the bus. When he turned and waved to us, I realized just how very much I love him and that there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do to protect him.
Well, I feel the same way. Look, I'm going to do nothing but worry about you the whole time I'm gone, so I want you to keep that revolver in the bedside table at night.
I will. But I'm sure I'd be too terrified to use it if someone actually did break in.
Would you care for another drink?
I'll tell you what, I want to call and make sure my flight to Chicago is leaving on time.
Well, there's a phone right near the bar. It's a direct line to airport information.
All right, thank you very much. Jackie, excuse me just a minute.
There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do to protect my son.
Well, it looks like it's leaving on time in spite of the downpour. I want you to be careful driving home.
I will, darling. I hope you have a safe flight.
Now remember, I'm only a phone call away if you need me.
I'll always need you. But I don't want you to be worried about anything while you're out there. Justin, I love you with all my heart.
And I love you. Now, look, I'm gonna get down to the gate.
Well, if you don't mind, I won't go with you. I'll go on out to the car.
All right, I'll give you a call when I get to Chicago and make sure everything's all right.
I still think you're keeping something from me about Ross's call.
No, he just called to wish me a good trip, that's all.
Goodbye, darling. I love you.
I'm calling to tell you that Alan has demanded to see me in his office at 7 o'clock before he goes to the awards dinner tonight. I can't stall him any longer, Justin. I'll have to bring that codicil with me for him to sign. I'm going to beg him not to let Diane know it's been signed. I'm sure he'll go along with me. I don't think you should tell Jackie, though, especially tonight with you leaving.
Thank you. Listen, could you tell me, would I have much of a problem getting a taxi at this hour and in this rainstorm?
I'm not sure, sir, but aren't you on the 7 o'clock flight to Chicago tonight?
Yes, I am, but the flight's been delayed for an hour, and there's something I have to take care of before I leave.
Yes, Laura and Jane will have to sign as witnesses.
You both look lovely, and I appreciate your coming back to the office to do this for me before you go on to the dinner.
Well, we'd better get right over there now, Mr. Spaulding. We promised Diane would be there to help.
Diane may not be there tonight.
You're kidding. Oh, I can't imagine she'd miss it.
I made special arrangements for that award that she's supposed to be getting tonight. I'm sure she had no idea of it.
Yes, I know that, Laurie, but I talked to her a few hours ago, and she was quite ill from a migraine. She felt that she wouldn't be able to make it.
Oh, what a shame. Well, I'll just give her a call.
No, I'd rather you didn't do that. She told me that she probably thought she'd be resting.
Well, then Jane and I will try to take care of everything that Diane was to be in charge of tonight.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
We'll see you there, Mr.
Yes, you certainly will.
Good night, Mr. Marlin.
Yes, good night. Oh, ladies, thank you very much.
Good night.
Yes, good night.
Thank you for bringing them over here, Ross. But the will was not the main reason why I wanted to see you tonight. That story I just gave Jane and Laurie about Diane being too ill was simply an excuse to cover the fact that she wouldn't be at the dinner tonight.
I can't imagine anything keeping Diane away from that dinner.
I can't go into all of the reasons for it, but I dismissed Diane from her position in this company earlier today, and I want you to set up all of the legal arrangements necessary to get her out of here once and for all.
That's not going to be an easy task, huh?
Offer her anything she wants for her stock, but buy it back and get her out. I'd better go pick up Hope. The rain is going to slow traffic down terribly.
What was Diane's reaction when you told her that she was through?
Oh, well, she went wild. She made all sorts of insane accusations, said that she'd bring everyone down in the company with her if I went through with it.
Alan, I think Diane will carry out those threats.
No, I don't think she will, Ross. Well, good night.
Good night. sorry, but I'm going to have to cancel our dinner plans.
Ross, why?
Look, I can't go into any details, but something has happened that needs my immediate attention.
Ross, I don't like the sound of your voice. Will you come over here first and talk to me?
No, I can't now, but I'll come out later if you'll let me, because I think I'll be needing you then more than ever. I love you, Carrie, and I want you to remember that always, whatever happens. I'll be in touch later on. Goodbye.
Ross, come with it.
Jackie, where have you been? I've been so worried about you.
Has Justin called yet?
No, it's after 11, and you said you'd be home by 8. Jackie, I've been so worried.
I know. I'm sorry. I just needed to drive around a little while and clear my head.
Yeah, but, I thought Justin's plane was going to be delayed because of the storm and everything, so I was just about to call the airport and have you paged.
Is Samantha all right?
Oh, sure. She fell asleep right after the nurse left. Would you like something hot to drink? You look like you're soaked to the skin.
No, thanks. I need to just see my baby to know that no price is too high to pay for child security.
Where have you been? I've been waiting for you for an hour.
Well, I'm sorry, darling. I'm sorry. But when I went up to my suite after that dinner to change, I found a lot of messages, and I had to make some telephone calls.
Well, I thought that Joe might be here by the time I got
Well,
back.
do you mean to say you didn't come right back here after the dinner?
Yes, of course I did. I just thought that Joe might have gotten here before I did for our little celebration tonight. I am also sure that Alan fired Diane today, because if he hadn't, she wouldn't have missed that awards dinner for anything. And I didn't believe Laurie and Jane for a minute when they said that she was...
Darling, will you please let us talk about something other than Diane tonight? Now, I'm going to hang up this coat.
Why not? It's the heart of our whole celebration.
Vanessa.
Yes?
You couldn't have been here for an hour. Your umbrella's still dripping with rain.
Yourself to turn to someone like Rita Bauer when I was there all the time. You can't dismiss me. I have those tapes with you and Moreno on them, and I will use them if I have to. I'll take the entire company away from you. There will be nothing left for you to leave to your 3 precious children.
I've only tried this number as your last resort, and I was so worried about you after you brought me home. So I called your club, and they said that you'd come in, and you've left again.
Yeah, well, I changed out of my dinner clothes into something more comfortable, and then I found myself driving back here to the office. I only just walked in when you called.
Look, I could tell something was bothering you terribly all night long, and I'm sure it has something to do with Diane not showing up.
I didn't want to get into this with you earlier, but I discharged Diane earlier this evening, and I told Ross to take all the necessary legal steps to buy her interests in the company. I found out that you were right. I couldn't trust her, and I never should have. But that's all over now. We'll never have to worry about Diane again.
enough on me saying that it's so late. Sorry, I just had to come over here. I had to feel life in my arms once again.
It tastes cheesier.
This has been the award-winning Guiding Light. Fashions provided by Lily Rubin Salon, South Southwest, Stavropolis, and Barney's.